Oh, hi there. My name's Brent Puccio. You may recognize me as the manager at the Discount Theater, the guy that checked you out at Quick Trip. Maybe you've seen me perform stand-up comedy, or maybe you've seen me get drunk and do some very interesting karaoke renditions. But anyways, we're going to be a little bit more serious today, because today I want to help break the stigma on mental health. Someone very special to me suffers from anxiety and depression. And at the time, I didn't know how to fully care for them. Over the last 2 years, I've read tons of books on anxiety and depression. I've taken classes and studied things online on psychology, communication, anxiety, and depression. And you could only learn so much. Really, I didn't fully understand it until I lost my friend, a really good friend of mine, to cancer a few months ago. And I took my own spell with anxiety and depression, and everything clicked. Like it was like a light bulb had gone off, and I understood this person a lot better. It had just been too late, because I had let fear control our relationship, because I never wanted to say anything to trigger that anxiety or depression or make it worse. So I kept kind of everything inside. And I want to let you guys know, don't ever let fear conquer love. Say what's in your heart, because you never know when that person's not going to be there. And it is actually their birthday today, so I do want to wish you a happy birthday, lady. And I hope today is as amazing as you are. And this individual told me that I would be a good motivational speaker. So I wanted to start these videos and call it my mental wellness check. I didn't want to call it my mental illness check, because I want to take the I out of illness and replace it with we. Because together, we can survive. Like, don't go through this alone, and don't let fear outweigh the love in your life. Communicate with people. Tell them how you feel. Tell them that you love them, because one day it may be too late. Now, I'm gonna get vulnerable with you guys, and show you a side of me that a lot of you don't know. Many people who see me as a positive and happy person, but I put on a face, and I can't remember the last time I was truly happy. And it's not as bad as when I first got diagnosed with depression at my old job, because there were times there where when I was driving to work, I would pray to get into a car accident so I didn't have to go to work. Now, not a serious one where it would kill me, but an accident severe enough that I would have to be hospitalized and have to be bedridden for a little bit, just because I was so exhausted and so stressed out and hated my job so much that it was making me hate life. And that's what ultimately ended up me quitting my job and finding something else. So now I'm going back to college. I've met so many people since quitting that I now consider my best friends, and people that I wouldn't want to live without. There's so many people that are so special to me that deal with this anxiety and depression. And I've seen them hide their feelings and hide who they are because of this stigma. And over the last 2 years, I've lost multiple friends to suicide. And we as a world need to stop this stigma because we only get one life, and we need to bring out the the goodness and the positivity in people. And I will try not to cry during this, but it's been tough. There's been, this is the 4th time now where I'm trying not to cry, but so many people suffer in silence, and they think that suicide is the answer because they feel hopeless and they feel worthless and that the world is better off without them. But I can promise you it's not. I've seen what happens after you kill yourself, what happens to your family and friends, and how they go on and how they think, what could have I done to prevent this? And I've been in those places. Now, I've never been suicidal, but there's been times I don't want to be alive, where you think you're all alone and that if something happened to you, who would honestly miss you? Like, that's what I suffer with. Like, if I got into a serious car accident, who would come visit me at the hospital? And it's really these situations that you see who your true friends are. I got really sick a couple years ago where I almost died, and I was basically on short-term disability and bedridden for a month. And you really see who your true friends are in those times when you can't do anything for others. And it sucks, but you also get to see who's there for you in those times. And then when you go through those darkest times, you appreciate the good times a lot more because you know how bad it can get. And then you'll get better for a time, and you'll start feeling better and normal again, and then something else will happen and they'll trigger that thing. But I want you to know you're not alone. You got up out of bed today, and I'm proud of you. You're not your anxiety. You're not your depression. There's something special inside of you that you were put on this world to share with others. If you ever need somebody to talk to or would like to be on here with me, someone told me I should be a motivational speaker, and I'm really good at giving others advice. And I'm awful at taking it myself, but I'm getting better. And if this video could make a difference to just one person, then it's all worth it. Because I know life can be hard. And sometimes you can feel like the biggest piece of shit in the world. But you're not. You're important, and you're special, and you matter to someone. You may not see it now, but somebody out there loves and cares about you. There are so many people rooting for you that you don't even know about. And I know I'm not a big fan of social media just because of all the negativity and stuff, and I think it causes anxiety and depression just in itself because you're constantly comparing yourself to others. But it also puts you out there into the world, and there could be people that you don't even talk to or see anymore that are now your biggest cheerleader on the sidelines. They want to see you succeed. They don't want to see you depressed. Nobody wants to see you depressed. And I know you can't control it because I can't either. Like, there's days I don't even want to get out of bed, and where you don't even want to be alive. And it's like you have that little angel and devil sitting on your shoulder, except they're both devils. And it's anxiety and depression. Depression trying to tell you that you're worthless and nobody cares about you and you're a burden. And then anxiety telling you that if you don't get out of bed, you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your house, you're not going to make any money, and then people aren't going to love you, and you're just constantly having this battle inside of you and overthinking everything until you just break down. And you're not alone. People go through it all the time, but nobody talks about it because of this stigma. Just like with politics and religion, growing up, you're told not to talk about that. Just like growing up, we're told not to talk about mental health, and that needs to stop because so many people are suffering in silence. And that's why I'm calling this my mental wellness check instead of my mental illness check. Because once we replace the I with a we, together we can survive. Together we can overcome anxiety and depression. You're not going through this alone. And you may not even know me. And even if you do, you may not, this could be all completely new to you because I'm being vulnerable and I'm being real. But you need to find what you're passionate about and share that with others. Don't be afraid to take a mental health day if you're not there mentally. You might look fine physically on the outside, but there could be so much going on inside your head that you just can't properly focus on anything, and that's okay. Go see a movie, go see friends, play video games, whatever you do that makes you happy, read a book, do it. And then hopefully tomorrow will be a little better. But I want to let you know I'm proud of you. You're watching this video. You may be lying in bed on YouTube on your phone watching it, but you're doing something instead of just kind of laying there. And that's one step closer. And sometimes that's all it takes, just baby steps. You got out of bed, you showered, you brushed your teeth. You may go back to bed afterwards, but you tried. You got up there and you'll get out again. You're not going to stay in there permanently. And believe me, I don't want to stay in bed some days. But there's some days I can't force myself to get out of it. And knowing that you have people there that you care about and that care for you, it helps. Don't try to do this all on your own. I finally reached out to a couple of my friends and let them know what was going on, and I still feel like a burden. And I still feel like I'm spreading negativity to them, but they do their best to make me not feel like a burden and to let me know that they care. And fifth time almost. And that means the world to me. Just sending somebody a text, just saying, hey, how you doing today? Or just thinking about you, just checking in, or sending them a funny meme or things like that, just to know that you care about them. That can make all the difference. There's so much hate and negativity in this world. Make sure you're part of the good in it and the positive, and know that you're not alone. If you can always reach out to me, and I'll do everything in my power to try to make it better and to make it you feel special and cared about. Because I know how it is sometimes to feel worthless and to feel like a burden and that nobody cares. But and saying that even makes me feel bad because I know people do care about me. Like I know my family loves me and my friends love me, but sometimes your brain tries to trick you and you overthink it. And there's nothing you can do about it. But hey, you made it this far. We've survived 100% of our worst days so far, and we keep going. And I'll tell you, nobody's getting out of life alive, so you might as well have the most fun you can. Try to kick that depression's ass. Try to kick that anxiety's ass. Some days it'll beat you, but if you get up and you're like Rocky Balboa and I hear no bell. Wow, that was a awful Rocky impersonation, but just keep fighting it. And then eventually it'll get easier. You'll have bad days again, and there'll be some days where you take 2 steps forwards and then the next day it's 10 steps back. And you have to convince yourself, oh, I was doing better, I thought I had this, and reevaluate, but just keep going. And know that you're important and you matter, and this world is a better place with you in it. You don't need a wand to perform magic, even though it helps. None of the muggles are going to understand that joke, but that's okay. You have magic inside of you, and it's your choice to share that with the world. But that magic may make all the difference in somebody else's life. Don't be afraid to share it. Like, find your passions. Find what sparks you, what makes you want to live and go on, and share it with others. There's so much negativity and hate in the world. Why don't you spread some of the positivity and the good that you want to see? And I bet you're going to start noticing more good and positivity in your life. A wise man once said, happiness can be found even in the darkest times. One just has to remember to turn on the light. And maybe you're that light for others. Be the light in the darkness that never goes dim, because there's so many people that suck out the happiness and basically the good in the world. Let's just call them dementors. And you really got to unleash that expecto patronum on them, and then just spread that light. Spread that light, and let your Patronus lead the way. I want to share with you a quote from Robin Williams that really depicts on how I feel, and I think it's important that I share you because I feel very similar with Robin Williams on how he always tried to make people happy and laugh. And a lot of times people see comedians or people that are always positive as such happy people, and they don't have any struggles or things, but we just all hold them on inside. We put on a face, and very few people get to see us remove that mask. And here's that quote. Now, this is why I do what I do. I try to make people happy and make people laugh, just so maybe they'll forget about their problems and stuff, because I know what it is like to feel worthless, and I never want anybody else to feel like that. I also want to show you one of the posters that I keep in my house that I look at every day, that I try to go by. I mean, some days are better than others, but just reading it and constantly seeing it there, it helps me kind of make decisions and realize when things aren't going right. Here's that poster. It's called the Halsey Manifesto. If there's one thing you take away from this video, I want you to know that you are special. You're not your anxiety. You're not your depression. We're all in this life together, and we're all going out the same way. So spread the love and the happiness. Peace out.